1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Make48. In this competition, 8 teams are selected to come together, receive a challenge, and create a prototype that wows our judges. This time, our teams are made up of high schoolers matched with college students from the University of Wisconsin-Stout, Wisconsin's only polytechnic university. They have access to a Makerspace and tool techs who help them bring their ideas into reality. The teams are coming from all over Wisconsin and gathering at the University of Wisconsin-Stout's campus. Let's go meet the teams.
Make48. Are you guys all ready to innovate? Woo! Thank you so much, UW-Stout, for welcoming us and the teams here today with you guys.
So happy to have you here and to be partnering with Make48. So it's perfect to be at Stout because Stout students, we are what? A polytechnic university. That's what we are. Hands-on or applied learning, business and industry partnership, and what are we getting you ready for after graduation?
To get a job.
To get a job. That's what we do at a polytechnic. So it's perfect to be at Stout.
Our secret sauce to these competitions are a team of experts who will bring your prototypes to life, the tool techs.
My name is Tyler Isaacs. I am the lead tool tech. I've spent the last 10 years in industry and manufacturing engineering, but now I own my own small business doing custom things for my community and small businesses.
My name is Ryan Patterson. I am with ShopBot Tools. I started many years ago as a cabinet maker, got into CNC, and now I'm just traveling around the country teaching people about CNC and getting machines set up.
I'm Miranda. I am a sophomore student here at UW-Stout, majoring in technology education with a minor in quality engineering. I'm trained on pretty much all the machines that we use in the Fab Lab.
I'm Maddie Kleja. I'm a junior here at University of Wisconsin-Stout. I work in the Fab Lab year-round, helping out students here complete various projects, whether that be personal or a school project.
I'm Sam Bachhoven. I'm a UW-Stout student. My role has been usually SolidWorks and Illustrator, making files.
The product category is construction safety. The problem: active construction sites pose significant safety risks for workers, pedestrians, and vehicles. Developing solutions that address these hazards can make construction environments safer for everyone involved. Your task is to consider these complexities and create a product that improves safety for all.
3, 2, 1, Make48! We kind of just all shot out ideas, like we could do this, or this, or this, or this.
We probably had at this point a total of 10 ideas.
It started a little rough. We just couldn't get a good solid idea going.
We created a couple of ideas and got a bit gung-ho about an idea, but then we stopped to realize we don't actually know what we're trying to solve.
When I used to work landscaping, what happened to one of our guys is they were rolling a wheelbarrow down this very steep hill. They stepped, sprained their ankle so badly they had to be taken to the hospital.
The biggest issue when it came is the repetitive motion of moving product from one location to another.
On construction sites, OSHA has stated that the most common accident is people falling off of ladders due to the angle being wrong.
We looked at the 4 most fatal incidents in residential and commercial construction, and we saw one was falling. So we were like, okay, what's the one time you're not harnessed in? And that's on ladders.
The previous ladder idea, I think we kind of just took away that one just because, like you
said.
The
harness one?
The spokes and the grounding ladder.
Oh.
It always seemed like we kept going back to ladders and somehow making those safer.
Don't miss out on any of the action. Subscribe to the Make48 YouTube channel and turn on notifications to catch every exciting episode. Be the first to know when new episodes drop.
So each of the teams is comprised of 2 high school students and 2 UW-Stout students.
We met today, so we're basically total strangers.
Our group kind of skipped past the getting to know each other and went straight into working on it, admittedly, which did cause some issues.
Our teammates that are high schoolers get a little bit distracted a little easily.
If you skip past the cars. They seem to be very anxious and very much want to try and get things done as fast as possible.
They have a schedule, and they have a schedule for a reason. Today is all about creative thinking. We shouldn't be doing any prototyping. I see other teams doing that. I'm like, you do you. But for now, I'm just gonna let us creative thinking. Tomorrow, we have all day to prototype.
Haven't gotten any fights yet, so hopefully we'll keep that going.
Yeah.
I showed up about, 3 hours later?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I'm walking in, where's my team at? And they point me over. I come over to them and I'm like, I wonder what I can do for them. Let's see.
When we're trying to do like an actual systematic matrix to make the decision, storing each one for different categories and gonna add them up in the end.
Now the power tool safety disconnect.
I think that's very useful. I think that it is getting your workers to follow the safety plan that is put in place for them.
5.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm a computer engineering student at University of Wisconsin-Stout. I absolutely love tinkering with anything electronic, taking things apart, putting them back together, trying to fix them, most of the time breaking them.
I'm big into AI and stuff, so I'm also president of the AI Club at Stout. My major is computer and electrical engineering. So the toting competition, we ended up getting 2nd place. Part of the prize for that was $3,000 to our department at school. So that's how we started AI Club, is the 4 people from that coding competition all became executives for this AI Club.
It's been a really fun opportunity as well to be able to learn things and get to know each other pretty well as well.
One of our group mates started talking about this idea about a certain effect that happens.
Yeah, it's called the Moire effect.
Moire
effect. Yeah, Moire effect.
I've seen this design where you basically just use 2, one transparent layer that has lines on it going one way. Behind it, you have just flat lines going a different direction with a contrasting color.
So then without power and without any sort of electricity, we can make the sign stand out, move and shift and catch the eye more than a standard street sign or construction.
I'm Tony Zulli. I've been an intellectual property lawyer for about 25 years. Today, we focused largely on whether there were other patents out there that might prevent the students' projects from going forward. So why don't you all tell me a little bit about your idea?
Our idea is a universal impact sensor for hard hats.
It's a modular system that has force sensors in it, like an accelerometer and a gyroscope. And what you can do with that is apply it to a helmet or like a high-vis vest. If they get hit by something or fall, those force sensors will be able to read that, and that'll be relayed to an app in your phone and send that off to your foreman to notify him that someone is injured.
Well, let's take a look, see what we can find.
He looked at it and he goes, okay, so there's 1 or 2 things that kind of get close.
So a lot of these coming up that I'm seeing are in the sports field. Not surprising, right?
I think a big difference with ours was that it's a modular system that is applied to the helmet.
This patent would not prevent you from doing what you guys are doing. That's I think the important thing for today.
I think the biggest challenge is going to be trying to connect all the different components we have.
Oh, the other issue. We don't know how to connect the rails. We decided that there's a couple ways we could do it. We could do it You know, like these dove joints.
Yeah.
However, we don't know how that's gonna
What
match
if you
up
use
with
magnets
the C.
to connect it?
No.
No.
But you have that one. You have possible a bolt. So like there's a hole and it connects and then you put a bolt in it.
That would be the best one.
Is that
that's
the best
sturdy?
one?
Yeah, that's sturdy, that's simple.
Okay.
Quick, dirty, easy.
Because that would be them clicking together, bolt, done.
Yeah.
We went to the patent attorney and he said that our idea infringed on a patent.
There are a lot of patents around sort of awareness of where the worker is and also where things are relative to the worker.
And we actually thought of our idea while we were in the focus group.
Oh, yeah.
One of our teammates thought of it on the spot, basically.
My current idea is like a road barricade or a sidewalk barricade that has sensors on it that when it detects movement along the path, it'll flash lights and make like a sound.
Yeah. And so that's like a proximity sensor where
Yeah.
if somebody would walk too close to it, it would send
So
sound.
like a PIR sensor, like it
Okay.
just detects that change in heat.
I participated in the focus group portion, and we sat and we acted as a consumer or as a purchaser of that product to give them good feedback to help steer the direction of their product.
So what about like the person who has to assemble the track? Like now it just seems like it could be just a different kind of work, right? So
Yeah.
you're not moving the mulch, but now you have, so just thinking about the workload involved with setting up the track.
So our final idea is more of a ladder brace. Once the kit's added, they put the ladder against the roof. A spacer bar connects the ladder to the wall, and then the roofer climbs up and then uses a thing called roofing bracket, which slides underneath the shingles and then is hammered in. Ratchets are tightened, pressing the ladder closer and firmer to the wall, and then after that the ladder is stuck in there.
All that I made for them was the hooks that they could throw their device onto a roof, held on by roofing nails, and then it'll keep a ladder real nice and stable up against the top of a roof.
What our product is a device that goes on the side of a ladder that detects the angle of what the ladder is at, and then if it has the correct angle, which OSHA has stated is 75 degrees, then it'll give you a nice smiley face, little green lights. And then if you go way out of that range where you get on that ladder and it's gonna be a bad time for you, then it'll beep real loudly at you and you hopefully will switch it up real quick.
It needs to be set up exactly like up and down before you turn on the device, or it will be off.
But we can straight up go to Walmart, buy a pinky level, and just pop it right in.
Yeah.
There are two aspects to it. There's a clamp aspect, which is what's going to stick on the ladder, and then there's a software aspect, which is what's going to determine the angle that the ladder is and display it to whoever's using it.
It's a tool belt you wear during construction that's supposed to keep your tools from falling, well, especially while you're high up. And it's also going to keep your power tools powered.
We need to figure out how to make the battery cells rechargeable.
If you're using it for that long where it dies, you're just going to have to go back out and charge it.
No, like at the end of the day when you hang up your vest, it would be able to be plugged in.
Yeah, there'd be like a spot. You could probably keep the adapter on it, but that's also going to be attached to the belt anyway. So.
As you guys know, we get to have fun and build the trophy ourselves here as Tool Techs.
Our first idea was a construction crane and having the airplane on the top.
Yeah.
And then the logos are hanging down off of it where it says
For the bucket location or the
Yeah.
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 So,
So,
okay. I can
yeah.
try to find some wood and try to get a strong base for us, and if I could use your help to maybe, if you want a CAD model of the crane, or maybe just get a grab CAD or something
and
offline.
we're thinking for the airplane we could do sheet metal again. It turned out really good last.
Is that what
so,
you did last
yeah.
year? Okay, cool. Well, then I'll definitely look to you on that. So I think we got everything captured here.
Nice.
Day 2 is usually the day with the most action here at Make48. Keep watching.
Got your list?
Oh yeah.
Good. So get some material.
Yep.
Oh God.
So for the award, we need to put something at the base to like oil it, finish it.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas what we could do for that?
So it's like a wood base.
Yeah.
So it's a hardwood, and so I think we want to kind of like show the grains and make it pop. So
Yes.
I would recommend like an oil, something that's quick, easy to apply. I'm a sucker for some tongue oil just because I like it.
So I found some caution tape right here. I think this will work well. So this is gonna go on the like base of the award to kind of represent that safety aspect. I like this one. I think it's pretty cool. It has that little design on it, so.
Yeah, I think it'll complement really well, and the colors we're using are pretty neutral, so it'll match nice.
Sounds good.
Here on day 2, teams are hard at work with the tool techs bringing their prototypes to life. Let's check in on their progress.
I helped out the grade team with their vinyl cuts as well as their full-scale prototype. We had to vinyl cut out long lines where they could line up the other lines with it, and it shows an illusion of movement. One tip I have for the vinyl cutter is patience. You need patience when you're weeding it and watching it run. Make sure you take your time and weed out every little bit of it. I also helped them with making a stencil for spray painting their final product out of corrugated. So we put the corrugated into the laser, lasered out the dimensions they needed. They put that on their final product and spray painted over it.
The Cardinals, they're working on the safety helmet. They programmed a whole thing to detect velocity of force and to test how hard something would get hit if somebody was hit on the head with something and that type of injury. And that was really cool because I hadn't seen a lot of that programming integrated, so it was really awesome to see that group do that.
I made a nice little track system for a dumping landscaping helper, puzzle joints together.
The competition is heating up. Let's check in with our teams. What's up, Team Eagles? How you doing?
We're doing good. Doing good.
So you have code. Assume is that like
Arduino, yeah.
Arduino code? You're running an Uno
Yeah.
there. It looks like on a breadboard. Awesome. You got hot glue. You got laser. You guys are kind of running the coding, and you got some soldering over here too. Or are you just doing all?
Yeah, we had to extend some of the wires.
Very cool.
Yeah.
There was I think there was a miscommunication with how long the wires needed to be.
My name's Muhammad. I like building things, I like engineering, mechanical, electrical. It's all pretty fun. So Skills USA is an organization that promotes people going into trades careers rather than regular 4-year careers.
Our kids really enjoy it because they have an opportunity to, not only be with other kids that are similar to themselves, but being able to meet somebody else that is completely different than them, and then being able to work on projects together, learn something new, and have a good time.
So I think the way it helped me prepare was like learning how to communicate with other people, because if you disagree with someone's idea, you have to learn how to resolve it and make sure you guys learn how to agree together. And I think that's gonna help me a lot in my future career.
Hey, Team Knights, how you doing?
Hello. Good.
I just came by to check up on you guys. We're coming up on 24 hours to the finish here, so I see you got a lot of prototyping and a bunch of different materials. Can you guys talk to me more about kind of where you're at and what you're working on?
Yeah. The idea that we came up with was sort of an intercept between a drill and a battery, right? And what this intercept will do is it'll keep the battery from powering the drill,
right?
As long as you don't have your eye protection and helmet on. So if you have your eye protection and helmet on, you can then use your drill or your power tools.
So it's like a user lockout. You have to have those to get the drill to function. All right, all right.
Safety just happens to be one of those things in construction that gets sometimes overlooked or doesn't get paid enough attention to. And so anything we can do to make it easier is good.
With this idea comes the fact that it'll all be integrated between this and the battery, right?
Yep.
And this will be locked to the tool.
Yep, and that's the thing. It'd have to be, to me, for it to be real effective would be to be a locking on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Besides having a behind-the-scenes view of the competition, the VIP experience allows guests to meet the teams, network with industry professionals, and explore the maker world in our host cities.
In Dunn County, we are very passionate about fostering an innovation ecosystem from our youth in high school all the way up through our graduates at UW-Stout. Some of the things that I really enjoy about this area are all of the opportunities, both in the outdoor recreation space as well as in creative performing arts, and the ability to do a lot of different things right here in West Central Wisconsin, our Stout Technology and Business Park. It's a collaboration between the City of Menominee and UW-Stout that was able to bring a high-tech park focused on high technologies into the Menominee area to court businesses that are internationally known and have a large reach and are a force in both our workforce here in Menominee as well as driving the economy forward in Dunn County.
What's up, Team Cardinals? How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
We only got about 24 hours left, so I just want to check in with you guys. Share with me what you're working on right now.
Yeah, so we've just finished mocking up our prototype for our helmet. It's a sensor integrated system that's going to help detect injuries to the head.
One of the other things that I was thinking of too is where is this person real time, like GPS tracking, or like at least a relative, like a 100-foot ping of like it's here. You know, sometimes identifying where they're at can be a challenge too.
So there's kind of two ways we're thinking of doing that. So number one, we're going to have a beeper that can work through the phone and through the system itself, as well as you can use the GPS tracking of whatever phone is your your parent phone.
Yeah.
I'm Eric Andreo. I go to Chippewa Falls High School. I'm in my senior year. I'm a part of the robotics team and I run cross country. I participate in 4-H and I'm an Eagle Scout. I love archery and I compete through 4-H for archery. Skills USA, it's a program that takes students and you compete in the district competitions and also at the state level too. My additive manufacturing team, me and my friend, we won second place at the state competition this past year, so that was a very rewarding experience.
Me and him have been mainly working on the physical side of things with building and designing. Gio and CN have started working on the promotional aspects.
So we have like kind of two separate prototypes. So we have like a 3D model. And then we have a life-size model, which has been constructed with wood.
For the base or the box of the product, it is using a 3D printed plastic case. Then it's using a bunch of microbot or microbit circuit boards and wires and battery packs to power a leveling device. The On-Shape guy was a really big help for us. We've spent yesterday about an hour and a half, and then today about an hour of designing with him.
My tip for you guys would be to fail a bunch of times till you succeed. I think we're on our 5th prototype of this, and we're gonna hopefully print our 6th and it be correct for the trophy today.
We're working with a lot of the metal crew because most of our product is metal.
They helped us out and made a whole fake side of a roof.
I need to get this cutting.
And our product is the Cardinal Safety Network.
Winner of the $2,000 and the custom-made trophy are...
So our challenge here relates to safety on the job site, specifically around construction or residential homeowners. And I've been thoroughly impressed with the quality of our students
teams are already on their 3rd or 4th iteration, small scale prototyping, using 3D printing, cardboard, even tape. How you doing, Team Warriors?
Good, how are you?
So we got about 24 hours left. I'd like to check up with you guys, hear your successes, some of your pains, some tribulations, I'm sure.
The biggest challenge, I think, making this effect is pretty easy. Getting the effect how we want it is difficult, especially we've been messing more with, instead of just lines and movement, Kieran's been messing with trying to get some animation in there as well.
Understood, okay. We have our agilities that we wear. Have you seen those in action within yourself or your teammates that you weren't necessarily as aware of?
I'd say I definitely have seen the way they all come into play. He's got inspecting. As we're working on things, he's always the first one to go up to them, look at them, make sure they're good, measuring.
I've been doing a multitude of jobs, just helping with input on the prototypes, like however I can help really. I helped with the sales sheet.
Yeah, and like he's got judging and estimating with all these gap sizes, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's been all his work, all of him trying to figure out what
He
we want
makes
to
the
see.
technical stuff seem a little bit easy, huh?
Yeah.
My role has been kind of creating the designs for the Moray designs.
The Huskies team, they built a terrain earlier today, so they took a piece of plywood and they sprayed some spray foam on it and then carved into it and spray painted it and made it into a terrain for their model.
Right now we have the rails and we have how they look, but we haven't decided how we're going to connect the rails fully and safely for the actual product.
We're kind of working on all sorts of different steps. So like our partner Otto is working on kind of the software integration side. Eric's working on CAD modeling and kind of thinking about how we can actually build the product. Gus is working on a lot of the
finances.
Yeah, the finance
Yep.
side. And I'm kind of working on like sales sheet and some of the other requirements of the competition right now.
I need to get this cutting.
We're hoping to 3D print the majority of the parts, but we also just need leather or some sort of fabric for the outside.
We do plan on using some metal parts, very, very small ones, just for like attachment, maybe wires, but we're still not sure if we're gonna make it fully functional or just for display.
What's up, Blue Devils? I see a pretty good working prototype so far. Can you talk to me more about how you got here and what you incorporated?
This harness here is a representation of what we're attaching our product to.
Okay.
This is this denim, it's filled with rice, and it was made to represent the gel battery that would be put onto the product.
Okay. Well, so essentially that's the problem you're solving is getting rid of all the different battery styles, of course. And then 2 is saving the weight, making it friendly on the user. Got it.
Honestly, my favorite part about the competition is making the award. Do we know what we're doing with the cutout of the bottom? Is it just gonna be flat and we're just putting it in, or what?
Well, if we router
the wood and then slip it in. Okay.
For the first time, we did some V-carving in epoxy fills, did a little differently. Was a little nervous. It ended up coming out pretty good.
So I've been making like the CAD files for the trophy so that we can plasma cut, 3D print, laser cut, all that.
CNC Plasma is a machine that uses an electrical current to produce a really hot bulb of plasma gas that we cut metal with, so the material needs to be conductive. A really great tip and something to not forget about while using this is make sure you put the ground clamp on your material or else it won't cut.
All right, Mustangs. So you're essentially focusing on ladder safety on roofs or cantilevered surfaces or just angled roofs?
We're just going purely for like residential roofing repair and building.
Yep, so standoff will hang off of here. And this is the main bracket that can attach to any ladder. And the ratchet straps will connect through here. So it'll be one sphere system.
This is something you found commercially available and modified to your need, right? I think some of these were added on to it, right?
Yep.
Nice, that's pretty good eye. The Maroon team, taking into consideration already available technology such as roof clips and ladder stands and then even standoffs off the wall to prevent them bleeding on the gutter, they've incorporated into a system that allows them now to protect and make sure the person on the ladder is stable. So it has a little similarities to the other team in a sense for ladder stability.
It's not fine. Hang on. 4. I mean, come on.
At the moment, we're working on designing the software that will either display something or flashlights or play a sound when the angle is correct and do the same thing if it's wrong by a different sound or light or color.
What's up, Rife Lakers? How you guys working on the prototype so far? You guys had any issues? It's been pretty smooth sailing, or?
Definitely had issues.
Okay.
No doubt about that.
What kind of issues have you had?
Well, some minor things is, see how there's a little window right there?
Yep.
That's about 1 inch by 1 inch. Before we had about a 0.8 by a 0.8, and that did not seat well in there, obviously. So there's a few minor
Some learning, okay. So how does the system work as a whole?
The motherboard has like I forget what it's called, inertial sensor or something along the lines of an XYZ sensor in it.
Okay.
So it can measure side to side tip,
Okay.
and that mounts like perfectly into the box, and and we're measuring just XY. That's telling us what angle it's at, and we are trying to go for the perfect 75, which is what OSHA requires for the ladder.
Correct?
Yep.
Correct, okay.
I definitely like to engage in robotics quite a bit. That is probably one of my passions.
I like tinkering with anything automotive, so when it comes to cars, I'm your guy. But I do robotics. I've done it for 3 years, I think, about the same as him.
Yeah, you've done it as much. Robotics has really helped us in this competition because they have us in a engineering mindset.
With robotics, we have learned to adapt to working with other people because you have to have a matchup team and instantly be able to click and work together with them to win tournaments.
Right now, our goal is to have our prototype pretty much ready, and we get the pictures and sales sheet done, and then one of our group mates is gonna finish up on the video editing and stuff.
Well, we got lucky and we got paired with electrical and software engineers. So with all the coding, the programming, and the wire stuff, it was just fitting for them to kind of do that versus we are on the pitch, the business plan,
the script.
Yeah, the script, the video.
So the nice thing about our partners are Evan and Andrew. They're in computer science, so they are going to really help us with the film and some of the other aspects.
I use so many B-roll shots that I just never am going to use now. They're just sitting.
We have a few things left to 3D print, but it is mostly done. We are focusing on the video and promotional sheet right now.
I also had the idea of coming up with a nod to the safety aspect of this award, and that's where we came up with having small cones around it and the caution tape around the very edge.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the 6th and final regional event of Season 8. Let's welcome up our judges. We have Chancellor Frank from UW-Stout.
UW-Stout is a polytechnic university. We are very focused on making sure our students are workforce ready. That's thinking creatively, it's working collaboratively, it's innovating, it's making, it's creating.
Aaron Sundin from Derrick Builders.
When you start to think about construction, we've done things for so many years the same way. And I think innovation is extremely important. A lot of the things that I saw are really innovative. There are several different types of products that could be implemented out there.
Christy Larson from the DeBruce Foundation.
Today I am judging the pitches for the best agilities. They took the Agile Work Profiler before they came here. They could really talk about that and really leverage each other's strengths. Really, the agilities are used throughout the process.
All right, let's welcome down the Eagles.
So the problem my team and I decided we would try and tackle this year was pedestrians getting hurt in or by construction sites.
Part of what we have designed here is the closer you are, the more aggressive the commands will be. So if you get within a certain distance, it'll start flashing lights, and then it'll start beeping, and then realistically you'd be able to play any sort of audio cue. This model is made out of wood, but ideally in a more real model, we'd like to make it out of like a strong but lightweight plastic that kind of helps prevent like the weather. We don't want a rainstorm to come through and knock it over and ruin it.
Another important thing about a product like this is going to be getting power to it. So for power, we have come up with a pretty robust system where it uses a battery, a backup battery, and a solar panel in order to charge those batteries. So for retailers, we're planning on selling this at pretty much any department store, any online shopping store, and most importantly, wholesale to companies that may need it, whether construction or another company that may find our product useful.
All right, we are going to bring down the Knights.
Today, we want to introduce to you our ultimate safety device called the Saints. This stands for Safety Attachment Intelligence Neutralizing Technology System.
The most common issue with job site safety equipment is simply that it isn't used. Our system solves this by requiring the tool operator to wear their required safety equipment at all times when operating their equipment. The tool won't work when the safety equipment is not present. A small wireless chip reader embedded in the hard hat reads if the safety glasses are on by communicating with a small chip embedded in the arm of the glasses. When they are near, the tool unlocks for operation. As soon as the safety equipment is removed, the operator has 10 seconds to return the equipment before the device will stop the tool from operating. Having this small buffer time allows the lockout and makes it easier for the operator to remove their glasses and wipe their eyes, or remove their hard hat and dab some sweat. Our product is interchangeable to fit any Milwaukee tool in its current design. The safety lockout can be implemented directly from production, and no additional connections or pieces are required. The Saint system is personal protection revolutionized for modern workplaces.
I'm interested in your audience. Would you market this directly to construction companies, or would you market it to Milwaukee tools or larger manufacturer like that?
So this was reenacting if you guys were Milwaukee's panel, we would be trying to sell this product to you today.
The Mustangs.
Falls contribute to a staggering 33% of all on-site fatalities. And after talking to industry experts, we found out that one of the scariest parts of going from a ladder to a roof was that first step, off of the ladder onto the roof. What our product does is securely ratchets to the roof and is stuck in place. It is a set it and forget it. This would be mainly marketed towards large roofing groups. They would pull up to residential areas, set this up, and be able to run up and down it all day without any worry.
Well, great job, and I think you're solving for a great problem, because I've been on a ladder on my roof and it is terrifying. Could I use this by myself, or do I need someone else to help me, or can you use this as a single?
Someone at the bottom for the initial setup would definitely be useful, but other than that, you can easily do it by yourself because it is locked in.
Let's welcome down the Blue Devils.
A big issue with battery tools is that they're heavy. Our product is the tool tag. With this, it all comes from this small battery. This weighs 8 ounces only. And with fall cells, it delivers the same amount of power as those two 12 amp hour Milwaukee 18 batteries. How it's connected is with this adapter here. This can go to any type of battery system. You just change the adapter. So if you're working all day, you raise that up, it's the weight of the tool only. And that way you don't drop your tools or anything else onto the people below you, because those can cause death and injury. The really cool thing about these batteries, these are gel batteries, where you can smush these, you can light them on fire, you can puncture them, you can cut them in half. There's no acid to leak out because they're solid state batteries.
Where the battery is held there, you're showing that as like a denim
right now. I mean, I'm assuming it has to be a specific material to protect against the battery. Do you have a recommendation as to what that might look like?
To keep sure that your batteries do stay as long as they can, it could be some sort of plastic or heavy nylon will work great because that is cheap.
The Cardinals.
So we're the Cardinals, and our product is the Cardinal Safety Network. The CSN is a modular system designed to be applied to current hard hats and other PPE, such as a vest. There's sensors in the vest and the helmet. So within there is an accelerometer, a gyroscope, and force sensors in the PPE that allows it to connect via Bluetooth through the application. So using the accelerometers within the phone, because we're not directly connected to Bluetooth right now, that will take the fall and analyze it and report an injury.
Furthermore, it allows the manager to kind of track the status of each of the employees. So in this example, we have 3 employees. The first 2 are totally working. They have their status and they haven't been in any injuries. The worker that's in the red has had a potentially traumatic injury and then needs to be tended to. So that will be sent to the foreman or the safety manager's phone. And based off of that, they can get provided the proper medical attention.
Great job, you all. Can you talk just a little bit about, could there be any errors in sort of readings?
So the primary sensor we would be relying on to detect the fall and impact data would be the force sensors. After that, we would then go to the accelerometer and the gyroscope to identify whether or not that person actually impacted on the ground.
Say like you're riding in something like a bumpy truck. The accelerometer and the gyroscope and the force sensors would all be working together. So you're not actually taking any impacts. So the sensors would be able to tell that and be like, hey, you're just riding in a bumpy situation.
The Huskies.
So as you can see, this cart can easily move alongside the rails. You may be wondering why it doesn't tip right now as it showed in the video. Well, that would be because we installed this very easy pin on the side that you can install to stop it from tipping while it is moving. So now it can tip. Now say you have an application where tipping your products out isn't exactly the best approach. We installed this easy door on a hinge that latches at the side. You can take that door down and you can unload your products that way.
We also made a smaller model to help demonstrate it in action. As you can see, we made a construction site and we wanted to demonstrate each of the individual chunks and how they would work. The goal with these pieces is basically you'd buy them in short 2-inch or 2 feet segments and you could customize them to the job site you were building to.
We would recommend that a larger company would buy these in bulk and then rent them out to smaller companies just to limit the cost, as you don't know what you would need for each job site.
Let's welcome down the Warriors.
Construction sites can be dangerous places. And when you're putting them on a road with cars going 70 miles an hour, it's not making them any safer. And as drivers, we're driving past signs and cones every single day to the point where they don't really draw our attention like they should. And that's why we created Sight Catcher. This is a way to draw attention without the price and without the power. We're using something called the Morai effect, along with the motion of your car and the lights of your car in order to create a sign that truly stands out.
If someone wanted to change that often, what does that look like?
If somebody had already created a design they had wanted, they could either just slide in a sheet or they could screw in another piece of plywood like we do have here.
Nice Lakers!
Our concept behind ladder light is pretty simple. In construction, OSHA has reported that ladder falls are the most common mistake made. And one of the most common reasons ladder falls happen is because they get the angle wrong. Now, if you ask any construction worker, they'll probably say, well, I always get the angle right. Unfortunately, statistics say otherwise. The smile itself, pretty easy to understand. You don't need to speak English. You don't even really need to speak a language to understand what a smile and a frowny face means. The lights on top are also great if you're looking down. And if you can hear, beep, beep, beep. There's a beep there. All right, I promise. As for who our customers are, right? We are going to you, all right? Specifically the contractors.
How can this be heard on a job site? So it's louder on a job, or the sound can
can vary. So have you considered that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you couldn't notice, especially those in the back, this prototype is quiet, right? In future iterations, we want to make that annoyingly loud, right? Because when something's wrong, safety matters a little bit more than you being a little bit mad at your coworker Bob because he can't get his ladder right, all right? So the priority in future iterations would be to make it a lot louder.
Chancellor Frank, you get to judge the best presentation or the best pitch.
Yeah. I'm looking for that thoughtful engagement with the challenge question, critical thinking, creativity, innovation, and those signs of real collaboration.
You have the extremely tough decision to pull off who is going to win the Best Innovation Award.
Some of the criteria I'm going to be looking for is how easily can it be implemented out into our job sites? Can we continue to do our jobs effectively, efficiently, but also under the underlying umbrella of safety?
So Christy, you are judging the Best Agilities Award.
Really just looking at the teams and how have they worked with each other to use those agilities to make the team better.
Can you tell me who your top 3 are and why?
We'll start here with the Knights.
All right.
And what they were able to do, it's taking into consideration maybe from a safety perspective things we forget about, and that's good habits.
Okay.
My next one is the Cardinals.
Okay.
As an employer, we really like that information real time. First of all, for the safety of our employees. We also want to be able to have something there that we can follow up. This is the Warriors. I could see this as a potential for progressional signing.
Yeah. Let's start with the Huskies.
Okay.
So I just saw balance there. I saw balance in terms of the presentation and the approach. So we have the Rice Lakers.
Okay.
Well, full of personality.
Yes.
Absolutely. From their video through their presentation. We
Well,
have the
yep,
Mustangs
okay.
sort of anticipating questions during their presentation. So again, really from beginning to end, a very solid presentation.
I really liked the Rice Lakers. I think the UW-Stout students did a great job really lifting up the high school students.
Yes.
I love the Eagles. They had a ton of personality and they gelled really well. They were fun, a lot of innovating, a lot of working with information.
Excellent.
The Warriors, I'm gonna say again, props to the UW-Stout students because the older students were just really great to develop others. And I noticed that both of them had developing others as their top agility. And so I thought that was just really, really fantastic. It was great.
Are you all ready to find out the winners? Moving on to nationals, winner of the $2,000 and the custom-made trophy are the Knights.
Thank you to all of our sponsors, to everyone who got us here, like our parents, especially for me and Audra.
Corey and I would like to thank you two. You made an amazing team for us, come up with a bunch of ideas, and we had a great time working with you, and we really appreciate everything.